after the destruction of the energy horror, after being tricked and misled and guided further and further into the heart of what was Paishan, you did battle with the great tree creature itself, using curses, puppets, manipulation of energy. You fought the giant thing that had turned this entire area into its own hunting ground. And through some very, very close calls and a particularly good use of counterspell, you managed to barely survive. Again. You traveled down the root system after the tree beast is broken and ripped apart. Climbed down and noticed the giant energy core that it had been sucking its power from in order to grow to something of this size within a matter of a couple of months. You notice the purple energy is gone from the cells below. Several of the occupants are already dead. And you heal up those that are unconscious but stable. None of them are awake unless you guys want to get them awake. But as you're down here with this core, with this space, with this ancient, well, looking ancient ruin of technology from a high civilization, what are you guys looking for? Do a dice roll to see who we're working with next. Fine, because I don't actually get to roll physical dice very much anymore. Dolphin, you're up first.
Dolphin is currently moving things. That's good enough for now. Yeah, so through all of the stuff, as I let you know, I'm intending on looking for various different magical items, if there are any left. If there are only non-magical items left that have been drained, then items that seem as though they might store some form of history, or something that might be mildly interesting in terms of abilities or powers that maybe was once in there.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're starting off by looting. Okay, 12. First of all, you do get your hands on the Wanton's book. As you move around that book, she doesn't seem to be talking to you or anything as you're going about. Kind of get just a general sense that she's tired. Understandably so. But you can kind of still sense like a presence, like a hibernation inside of it. But it occupies most of your thoughts as you're going about. With a 12, based on the pictures alone of these things, Choose two that you might want to go poke around for.
The pictures alone.
Mm-hmm. All the
Donde
people that were down
está?
there.
Ah, of the people.
And just as a reference, these two folk are up top, but they are available as well.
We'll go ahead and go with Marge.
Marge.
Marge and Kayla's kind of a fun name. Or Kayla.
Okay, so Marge is still alive. Are you looking to loot them or just investigate the stuff they've got on them?
Specifically, weren't they all each in like little cells? Just kind of the area that they were in before we pulled them over to heal them.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I won't take anything off the body, but there's stuff around the body that I would be more interested in that.
Okay. So with Marge, you go into the cell. It's the largest of the cells, and you see a almost rhinoceros-esque rodent-style body on the ground, breathing mildly, has the same kind of like wounds and gashes that look like little lightning bolts coming up from where like the roots were embedded into them and like draining them away. They look like sickly ill, but they all do. This one breathing deep, heavy sighs. You definitely get the sensation of like desert folk off of this individual. And you see a very large, bony protrusion kind of like underneath the skin on both of their arms. And a little slit where what looks like a bone spike would probably come out. You look around the room and there are some other like bones in here. But mostly it's like skin and bones, like something that has already been fully drained, and it looks like a desiccated just mummy of a person with long black hair, which is one of the only things that still seems to be relatively intact. Almost like a wig on a, something you would find in a museum. And they are crouched in the corner. But the room itself is pretty sparse. As you look around and kind of get a taste of these cells themselves, they do have like little possibility for like sleeping area cot, like to be set up as someplace that somebody would stay in long term, like a prison cell. But they're sparse. There's not much detail in the rooms themselves.
Very well. Then I'll just keep on keeping on.
For the room with Kayla, this one's a little bit smaller, and there are like runes etched into the walls that now give me a quick Arcana check. Okay, 19. The runes are like an anti-magic zone. More like a cell designed for a spellcaster, so that they can't bugger out magically. This one she's not quite like mummified like the other ones, but you see like gashes and cuts and like biting marks on her, and it looks more like she was partially drained because she's definitely like thinner than she should be, but it's more likely that she fought before she was captured and bled out.
Am I
And
able
this
to
one you
see any
okay.
blood in the room itself?
Yeah, there's a pool underneath her. I mean, it's definitely dried.
Okay. Then would like to see if she had some form of focus on her. If I can try and figure out, wizard, sorcerer, warlock, whatever gave her her powers.
Okay. Uh, yeah, we'll piggyback off of that 19 that you just had. There is a almost like a collar, but really it's like two necklaces strung together. One wider that's meant to sit like near the collarbones, and one kind of shorter that's meant to act like a choker, but they're tethered. And there is a blue gem, as shown as her picture in her picture. You definitely get arcane focus off of that, and from it you feel definitely like wizard vibes there. And there is a book nearby as well.
I will go ahead and head over. I'll pick up the book, but I also want to open the current book that I have, Wanton's book.
Mm-hmm.
And as I open it, I just want to think and perhaps whisper if need be. Did you know this person?
You do not get a response from the book.
I did not think that I would. I will go ahead and take the wizard's book, and I'll take the wizard's arcane focus also. Never have too many of those.
Okay. And there's a couple of like simple equipment stuff too. There's like basic daggers. She's got like 3 of them are still in like slots around her body. One of them is missing. And like some basic backpack adventuring stuff that if anybody needs any, like torches or ropes or pittons or something.
Well, I shall go ahead and add arcane focus and 3 daggers.
Cool.
And a book, a spellcasting book.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whoops.
New loot. That seems appropriate to have that. Hey. Seamus, what are you looking for? What are you doing in the aftermath of the chaos from above?
Well, I figure the soldiers of Aeon would be about some hero-y kind of business now that there's some people in here. I would be cautious of all of the individuals, given that some of them attacked us and could easily attack us again, and 2, it's Aeon and like everybody's a little dangerous, so I don't really think anybody's an innocent bystander. But I also would like start by checking on X and the other kind of darker, more suspicious-looking people, so that I could like meet them kind of a darkness to like darkness sort of thing. I don't want them to like you know, because if you're a creepy monster sort of person in Aeon, like it doesn't mean that you are a monster per se. So like I just want to like meet them at the same level of creep, I guess, and
Okay,
not
yeah.
like
Meet
you
them
know.
where they're at, sort of deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to put them at ease essentially without like also letting them like intimidate us or the group or anything like that as they're waking up, depending on who they are, you know, and willing to put anybody down too.
Okay, gotcha. So starting with X.
Can I give it to you?
Okay. Sounds good. What am I looking for?
Sorry, that's Troy.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so X, you go in and see, and this individual does not have any sort of discernible mouth or jaw system. They definitely look alien. They've got a heavy, thick robe on with kind of this like cascading series of like thick collar, almost like as if you like had a hood made out of like a snake skin, and then like you pulled it back and it's just like layered on top of itself. And there is in the room there is a long kind of gnarled staff with whoops. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
My notes. X peeled face.
That's creepy. Okay, you see next to this thing is this staff that kind of looks like it's made out of like mercury, like a liquid metal, but there's like little strands between like all the little broken like drifting pieces of metal, and it seems to be secured. And there's a little red gem, but the top section of like these kind of like melted off floating bits are centered above it and just kind of like rotate on like a top dome sort of deal. Even though the staff is down, it kind of continues to rotate above it, but it looks like if it was standing up, it would rotate in a similar fashion. And are you trying to wake this person up?
After I slide the staff out of their reach.
Okay. Gotcha. They are severely wounded. They are covered in like those branches, like even some of them are like wrapped around their throat. And looks like they are essentially like kind of pinned to the ground. So this one is pretty close to death, but I think last time we burned a whole bunch of spell slots and abilities and stuff to make sure that everybody was healthy, so we're gonna assume that that happens with this guy, and he's not like bleeding out at the moment. So what do you do or say to him when you try to wake him up?
I would do it maybe from 5 feet back, and I would use my shadowy hands to like kind of gently like nudge them a little bit, and then as they're waking up, I would say, "I don't mean you no harm, stranger. Let me help you there." And as I do, I'll use my shadowy hands to help kind of pull some of the vine off of them and free them a little bit to kind of show, to demonstrate that I'm like helping right now. I don't know if they can understand me or not, but at least I can try to be slow about it and demonstrate helpfulness.
Cool. You do kind of get them awake, and you hear a very kind of deep and rough sound come from them. And as they kind of like wake up, their eyes, which were pretty much looking like closed sockets before, underneath like a heavy brow, they start to glow orange. And they reach down and kind of like try to prop themselves up and like remove some of the branches. And you don't, again, you don't see a mouth, but you do see portions of its throat kind of expand and kind of vibrate. Like it has multiple, almost external vocal cords. Honestly, did never expect to see another person.
So you are a person. That's a good start.
Depends on who you ask. But I think so.
Fair enough. Well, you made it out of here, or at least you're alive for now.
And you are too.
Indeed.
How?
Well, pretty awesome, to be honest with you.
No. Gonna have to forgive me, an old man. I'm not in tip shape, unfortunately.
I'm not going to show you a mirror today, but at least, yeah, you're alive and still kicking. Let me help you out there.
Thank you. He kind of gets up, and as he stands, he is quite tall. Like, he unfolds to about 7.5 feet.
I'll drink a water there. Is that why you carry the staff?
Among other things, if I trip, it's a long way down. So... Wait. What of the others? I had my friend and an apprentice with us.
Well, they might be here. We're helping out some others. I don't know if they are also 7 feet tall like you. We'll probably find them right quick.
Let us proceed then. It doesn't take long, but he identifies Kayla and names her as his apprentice. And then up top, you guys are able to, that person is still up top, sleeping upstairs. So you guys, he gives you a description. Another fellow, dark, glowing eyes like mine, a couple of swords at his side. And you guys are easily... Oh, we lost you on audio, Seamus.
Yeah, we'll take you back up there. Not a problem. They're up top. I also cast detect magic just to like confirm my suspicions that staff is magical. If he's got an apprentice, I think I'm dealing with some sort of wizard, probably of sorts.
Oh yeah, definitely. The staff gives off. I believe it's some pretty heavy conjuration magic. Son, unfortunate. She was very bright. I don't suppose any of you can bring someone back.
I'm not too sure, actually. Maybe we'll have to check with the others. Pretty amazing group here, actually, that I happen to be traveling with. The Soldiers of Aeon. I'm not sure if I introduced myself. My name is Seamus Black.
In this world, they have simply called me X. I believe it's a bad joke on the shape of my head.
Well, X, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Dire circumstances and such.
You never know how the sun will rise on your day in Aeon.
Kind of gently sits down and sits next to Kayla, kind of like lays her body into his lap, and kind of just stays there and look at her. Lord, when it will set. But that's about one of the only things that someone can count on me.
Hello. I have not had the pleasure of meeting you when you walked into this room. I assume you know this person. My apologies for your loss.
Thank you. I feared for all of us that I and Beodorf are alive is a blessing. Statistically and logically speaking, 2 out of 3 in my group is not bad for survival. But the 1/3 that has died is a heavy feeling indeed.
Do you know when you first arrived here?
Kind of pauses and thinks. No. Have you ever had a dream while ill that felt like you were moving forward slowly?
Surprisingly, yes, and relatively recently.
Like that, I don't know if it was yesterday or 3 months ago, but that thing got its hooks into us and kind of like scratches at its neck where those like little tendrils are.
Seamus, are you familiar with the dead?
From time to time.
Well, I've learned something new recently. Something that might be of benefit. But I must be able to determine the age of when this body passed away. I do not know if this body has been here for a long time and that's why it looks so mummified, or if simply the tree was just sucking up all of the energy as fast as it could and mummified her a little bit faster than normal. Do you think that you might be able to determine the age of this body?
Investigate the body.
I'd say that's more of a medicine check than investigation.
I'm way better at investigation.
I know.
Would I be able to provide assistance?
Sure, if you guys try to, like, put your heads together and brainstorm on what's going on. You're talking about Wanton's body, right?
Talking about we're over at Kayla.
Yeah, I thought we
Okay.
were talking.
Okay, Kayla is not mummified.
Ah,
She's a little bit thin and drained, but she's not mummified. She's the
Right,
one that I
I-
said looks like she died without being dried up first.
right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hey, that's not bad.
16.
Considering I'm at -1.
And you're trying to check on Kayla's body? Okay,
I think so. Yep.
sweet. Sure. You've seen plenty of corpses in your time. And I imagine when you were kind of on the streets and such, you would kind of keep some mental notes as, like, you just dead body in the street. Nobody really bothered to mess with it. Just kind of kept mental notes of, like, what it did over time. Kind of plays into here. Kind of factoring in the unknown of, like, how much did the tree drain. Your best guess is between about 3 and 4 weeks ago is when she probably passed. But in a kind of a magical cell with not really any environmental factors affecting her, she's still looking kind of alright.
What do you think, Dolphin? It seems it's been a little while.
This is rather unfortunate. With the new knowledge that I have come across, I am only able to assist in such a way in a very limited capacity and only over a certain amount of time. But as we examine her a little bit more, it seems as though perhaps she might have been dead for a little bit longer than would be effective for a spell like this.
Sorry we can't do anything for you there, X.
Answers are often given life and possibility. I ask, why not? There is no life to a possibility. So I wind up in the same space. But it is appreciated nonetheless. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like some time alone with my people to say goodbye.
Ah, no problem. We'll check on the others here and probably kind of round up at some point and get everybody out of here, figure out what the next step is.
Certainly. Thank you, Seamus Black of the Soldiers of Aeon. Okay. Yep, so Be a Dwarf, the other alien-looking dude, he's up top. Any others that you wanted to kind of check in on there?
Theodorf was the next guy on my list, so that checked off my 2.
Okay, cool. All right. Margot. Where are you at right now? Also, as as X was asking his questions, like, have you ever had a dream? I expected Margot from, like, across the chamber to be like, no!
No, I think she's at the core, trying to
Okay.
find, trying to subtly play with her new magics, see if she can siphon the energy like the tree was. So she's trying to keep it hidden.
Okay. Okay, and is anybody else up there? Ro, I think you said you were going to spend some time on the core too, right? I'm so confused by that GIF. That's like 3 different shows all in one.
Now, She-Ra and He-Man had crossovers. She totally had the power at some point.
Oh, okay. And is that Chitara from Thundercats too? Or is that just she?
It's just She-Ra.
Oh, okay. Looks way like Chitara.
They probably use the same animation cells between the shows. Like, yeah,
For sure. Okay. So Dro and Margot are up top. So Margot, first of all, give me an investigation check. Just to try to process this giant machine that kind of undulates and pulses. 14? Okay, you know this is beyond your understanding. And you're just looking for any sort of semblance of an idea of like where to start with this. You kind of get the idea to just go to one of the roots that's like plugged into it. And the roots are beginning to decay and brown and turn into kind of like a black ash. And they're very fragile, almost like when you burn logs in a fire pit and you come up later and just touch them, they just kind of turn to dust. There's a particular pipe kind of over on the right side, and there is like the fossilized branch kind of wrapped around it. You go over and touch it, and you feel just the thrum of energy running through there. This thing feels like an ocean of energy contained inside of this relatively small space. Not quite infinite, but might as well be. How do you want to try to tap in?
Mm-hmm. I think she's gonna put her hands in like the ash of the roots, right where they were connected to the core.
Okay.
And just try to focus on like kind of drawing in the energy the way trying to think of a good way to describe it. She's gonna focus more on like her ability to control balance of the world by shifting the balance from this like eternal grand pool of power to a little bit to herself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check as you're attempting that. That was almost a natural one.
Oh, so I was scared for a second.
Okay, with an 18, you feel a pulse inside of yourself. Like a familiar recognition and kind of like a 3-stage heartbeat instead of a 2-stage, like the typical like pump, 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 pump. You distinctly feel a triplet instead bump, 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 inside your chest. And a little bit of that energy flows into you. A bit like just going up to a river and taking a shovel and just kind of like carving a tiny little piece off to the side, and just that section will just fill up with water and continue to flow. Not trying to take it, more just like redirecting a small portion. And as you do, you feel very energized. Oops. And you kind of pull away. Your hair is literally like kind of like standing on end a bit, and you look at yourself and there's like purpley sparkles like crackling between your fingertips. And now roll me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm great though. This isn't a concentration check. That's not.
No,
what
it's
I
not a
want.
concentration check. You and the number 13.
I know. I
Nine-
rolled it 3 times. Are you kidding me?
yeah,
in a row?
yeah, all three. Jeez,
Are
that's wild.
13s.
Okay, you feel like this energy kind of like rolling around your body, and you start to feel tingly. You're a little itchy from the inside out. This wants to be released.
It's like the good pre-workout.
Yeah. Basically, if you feel like doing anything, you basically have a free spell slot of whatever level you want as high as you can cast.
Okay. As long as I hold on to it, though, am I like sparking?
Yeah. You definitely feel like this would get more difficult over time to maintain, and you remember kind of like the bursts of energy that were like popping from the tree and kind of burning it. You kind of imagine that might be the route that is going down.
Dro's nearby, right?
Ish.
Ish. What is the range on this? I'm gonna cast 8 on him and myself for 5 hit points. 5.
Okay. And you could upcast that if you want to give
Yeah,
you both extras.
4th level. I'm trying to see what it is at 4th level.
It'd be
10,
20,
15.
20 max H. No, because it's third. Yeah, so be 15 max
15.
HP increase for you both.
Current and max, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 15 max and yep. And what else?
15 current.
So
Your
just,
max and current go up by 15.
so add
For
15
the next
basically.
8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden feel better.
Yeah, do you say anything to Dro, or you just like snipe?
Yeah, and just like if he notices or says anything, I'll just tell him I was trying to help him out. But I am just sniping him with some healing.
Yeah, Dro, you definitely feel a change in your body, like sudden. You just feel a little better, like you just got stung by the energy bee.
Can I tell where it came from?
That's not hard to backtrack that to Margot.
Just see his head peek around. Just kind of stare at you for a minute. And then just go back behind the thing and what he was doing.
Okay.
Okay, Margot, anything else for you at the moment?
If she has time, she would go back down to the people and search around the bodies for like the good ink. That wizard ink.
Gotcha.
That shit's not cheap.
No, it's not. Give me an investigation check.
There you go.
It was almost a 13 again, and the dice was like, I'm bored of this number.
Thank God.
20, yeah. Short story is you can ask Axe if it's alright if you take some of her, Kayla's, paper and ink, and he allows it. So I'd say you have, and there's even some like good incense too. So you have like 40 gold worth of incense. Oh, and I'm gonna roll a d100. Jeez.
Wow.
And 60 gold worth of good paper. And 91 gold worth of good ink.
They were only in my favor, you know?
Yeah, apparently.
Alright, that's it.
Okay.
X is like, where's all my paper and ink?
Okay. Dro, over to you.
He has his notebook out and is sketching basically what he sees and to the best of his ability trying to actually sketch out instead of just writing notes about what it is. When when Dro looked at Margot confused on the heel, does she look any different?
Give me a perception check. Or insights. No, you said look, so give me a perception check.
Her hair sticking out everywhere.
Alright.
Oh, it definitely was. But you feel tinglies in the air just from being around this thing, and so you definitely are like, okay, well, she's got static head.
Okay.
Dro's very well versed in the static electricity properties of balloons. From his time growing up on the streets.
Steal a balloon here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see her and she looks about his knowledge. She's not the interesting thing right now.
Yeah. So he'll
Just kind of give her a quick glance.
he'll try to basically write notes along with images he can of this entire core of what he's seen.
Okay.
And he would also know just the connection. Well, yeah, he knew. Like this is what the tree was draining, and noting the cells that were that contain the prisoners that look to be open now because of this, and just connecting the dots with everything here and documenting it thoroughly.
Okay, sounds good.
Then once he
Give
oh, go ahead.
give me an investigation check to, as you're trying to
I'm gonna do physical dice.
understand this thing. The better, if you can figure out more of it, then you can put more in your notes, sort of deal.
10.
And not great. This is a lot. You kind of get the sense that this thing is overall some sort of blend of magic, technology, and like there's even something to this thing that's like kind of like a presence, like either it has developed some version of its own awareness. You just have the feeling of like being watched when you're near this thing by this thing. But yeah, and then what the heck? Give me a sleight of hand check too, as you're like trying to sketch it.
Oh, that is a lot better. 22.
Okay. While you're not sure how this thing works, that's not really your job. Your job is documentation. In the game and in real life. You're able to get a very accurate depiction of what it looks like. Even though you don't understand this thing basically at all. If you capture it properly, somebody else might. And you are fairly successful in that.
After he's done trying to process what this all is, he's going to go back down
Mm-hmm.
to... Where was he before? I think he was down here. And inspect this individual.
Okay. This person, pale of skin, kind of a harsh, like, grumpy lady looking face, even unconscious. She definitely has RBF. Her hair looks kind of like messy and tousled, but it's actually very rigid and stiff. And almost has like a crystalline transparency to the hair itself. And give me an investigation check. Or are you looking for, what are you trying to look for? Are you looting the room, gathering clues, checking on her medical state? What are you thinking?
Probably more if she is still alive and if Joe can help her.
Yep, still alive. Same thing like we did with Seamus. You know, hand wave, everybody got a little bit of healing and nobody's like gonna die. But yeah, she's beat up bad. And give me an investigation check.
19.
19, okay. Something that's interesting about her is that as you kind of like try to move her, you can't move her off of the floor. Because she's like partially merged into the stone beneath her. And with a 19, you can kind of see the backtracking of a struggle between them. Whereas, and she used some version of like the meld with stone ability to get far enough away that the roots couldn't penetrate all the way into her. And it probably saved her life.
She awake?
Nope.
Does she have any weapons or anything near her?
Yep. Yes, you can see the hilt of kind of like a sword, kind of like poking up from her hip, but the blade and the rest of the scabbard are like inside of the stone.
I'm going to take 10 feet back and cast Minor Illusion to my voice as if it was standing next to her softly. And just say, "You're safe now." In hopes that maybe that would get her to wake up. He's going to be out of arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
Because she doesn't look friendly.
No, she doesn't. Okay.
Just a resting face.
Mm. She's literally resting with a resting bitch face on.
You
Oh,
don't-
there's Kiki. Or there's Lily.
Well, there's bonding the whole time.
She doesn't stir from that comment.
I'm gonna cast message. I know she can hear this one. And they'll say the same thing. It's over. You're safe now.
You hear kind of a groaning and like a creaking of stone as like small portions of her body begin to move a little bit, and her eyes open with kind of like an audible crack. She kind of doesn't move, but she kind of side eyes like over to you as she kind of scans the room. Oh, aren't you naive? It's no safe in this world.
That's fair. Just kind of looking
This-
around the area while he's having this conversation. And to kind of point at the stone that she's merged with. I take it that is your handiwork.
As like it is, give it up completely. She kind of groans. And just like, kind of pulls up, and as she does, there's more cracking and kind of pricking. There's like, kind of like some dark lines that are pulled, like almost like when a deserty space gets rain and it gets muddy and then it dries up. Kind of like some peeling like on her arms and her exposed back where that is, and she's got like this top on, but she's like bare midriff, kind of and then some fabricy like shorts and stuff. She pulls up, cracks her neck very loudly, like. So who the hell are you? And what did you do?
Well, the name is Dro, and I kind of motion to the rest of the group. These are the soldiers of Eon, and looks up where the tree used to be. We dealt with that.
Stands up and begins to move. And Dro, with your passive perception, you see that thing that looked like a hilt to a sword is more like a serrated whip at her side, with like a bit of a like a sickle at the end, and a weight on the other side. She goes up and... damn. Yep. That's certainly a big hole up there. So you killed it, huh?
Yeah, I think. Or at least for now, stopped it. I'm just kind of looking around still. For now, I think it's safe. And it, for Eon, safe.
Again, word choice, boy. I'm mistaken. I'm Biero, by the way.
Bureau?
Yeah, Biero.
How long have you been down here?
She kind of like wakes up and looks back and goes back into the cell and like picks something off of the ground. Basically just looks like a watch. Let's say me and my group. Looks like about 7 or 8 days.
You said group. How many others were you traveling with?
5, I think. Yeah, 5.
Does she look to be human? From what you can see.
She's humanoid,
No,
definitely,
like,
but something about her does not read human.
I was gonna say, like, no, like, pointy ears or fur or anything.
Nope. Give me a history check.
Ten. Again.
Ben. You're not sure. You haven't ran into somebody like her before. Could be many different things.
I'm gonna look around. Do you think your companions are also here? There's quite a few cells. From first glance down here and looking around, I think some met an unfortunate end, but I could be wrong, but there might be a few like yourself that are still kicking.
With you, she quickly goes around and identifies the remaining people as members of her group. And gets to Bits and Horton.
As she goes to stand
And-
up and they start to like walk, Joe's gonna attempt to help, but he's gonna also pump in his lay on hands as well to show that he's here to help. There shouldn't be any concern.
Okay. As you do, you reach for her, and she's not even looking at you. And sorry.
Ironically, I understand.
Come on, Ken.
You said these two down here.
Yeah. She gets over to them and be like, damned idiots.
Do they look like they've been dead for a while?
Yeah, so I just kind of gather. Oh, I'll leave them where they are, actually. And when she gets over to Marge, literally like kicks Marge in the head.
That's
Says,
one way to do it.
Wake up, you oaf! Oh, I'm not being cruel. It's literally the only way to get through. That you like shake her. She doesn't even notice. You have to like give it some force. She's too thick-skinned.
Joe's gonna glance at Yaslin. I understand that.
I don't know. This has been kind of looking around, kind of feels like she's being judged. Her eyes kind of start to narrow.
He's just gonna smile.
Unbelievable.
And she gets over to Bits, and Bits doesn't look drained basically at all. Just looks like she died very fast. In fact, there's a good amount of like blood in the room, and it looks like, and there's some like portions of root. It looks like she kept fighting like the entire time until she was dead inside the room. Like she wasn't knocked out like everybody else was and slowly drained. She like was able to fend it off but didn't have anywhere to go.
Is there anything in those rooms as we go by of the dead ones that's laying across the room that isn't attached to the person, like their weapons or anything?
Yeah. So, with Bits, you see a couple of like kind of techie looking gauntlets. But they're pretty battered and like broken from the fighting. And you see like a little almost like a spidery looking thing, like kind of sunk into her chest. It looks metallic. And there's some kind of red scarring that give me a quick investigation check there, Drew.
4.
4. I don't know. She's got another device on her chest.
Dro's just gonna look. I know some individuals like to carry on their companions' items. I know we have that with a few of us. I don't know if you're one of those keepsake individuals or what you want to do with that. A token or whatever.
With that one, the last token, it's a bit of a last resort. She's our medic. A bit of a tinkerer, too. She probably had that thing filled up to give her heart a jolt if she was ever incapacitated. Idiot. And she'll reach down and she'll grab the spidery thing and just yank it off, and it does come off with like a kind of like a trickle of like old blood. Flicks it away. And kind of tucks all the spider legs in and puts them in her pocket. Yeah. Anyways. Just kind of like heads out, leaving the rest of the things there. Yaslin. Or Drove, anything else for you?
Did we
We're
find
about to
anything
pan
on
over.
this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna pan over to Yaslin's turn for that. Okay, so Yaslin, what are you intending?
Well, I guess she's just kind of looking around the place at this point, seeing, like, I don't know, is this dude in front of her even alive?
Nope. He dead.
Nope. They dead?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, do any of these people who are down look familiar at all?
Give me a history
May
check.
stop.
Yeah, give me a
Okay.
history check. And sure. I'll go there.
No.
Nope.
No.
No, these look like just other adventurers that, especially because you took out you like yanked off the kind of the false distress signal. These are the ones that got, or at least these are some of the ones that got lured here. There's extra bones and stuff that aren't visible, or that aren't really recognizable beyond just like mummies at this point too. Maybe just a few handfuls of them. This thing hasn't been operating. This tree clearly hadn't been operating at this level of power for a long time.
I'm so bad with names. What was the city that was once here called?
Paishan.
Ashan? Paishan?
Paishan, yeah.
Paishan, okay. I think given what she knows, she can't really do anything for people who aren't here anymore. And it looks like her friends kind of have everyone else sort of handled.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll actually cast Sending to her grandfather and tell him that it's taken care of and Paishan is no longer here.
Okay, and we said your bracelet has how many charges?
Two uses.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. get a delay on it and a response. Well, first of all, it's sending, so we're gonna count your message because that's one of the highlights of that spell for sure.
Oh no. Okay. Are you really
Uh-huh.
expecting it to be like freaking gestures where I have to use all 25?
Oh, that's up to you to decide.
Okay, well, hopefully we don't do that. Otherwise, alright, start get the
If you
fingers
ever
out.
have 2 words left, you just have to ask, "You pooping?"
If you don't end before 25, then just whatever you say afterwards is what they'll hear.
Yeah.
Your next conversation that you.
Hey, Pop. We dealt with the Paishan problem. It was a giant tree. It's gone now, and so is Paishan. How many do I have left?
6.
Just wanted to let you know.
Okay. You get a delayed response. Truly. That's interesting. Paishan was a good place, but you're still not safe. If that land is empty now, it's not going to last for very much longer. You need to get out. Sending help.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know where that was on the counts.
Okay.
2 over. I'm just kidding.
Leave the 2 important things out.
Mhm.
I don't think she responds. I think she'll, knowing that there's 2 charges, she'll wait till the group is out.
Yeah, well, you already used 1 charge, and you just used your second. So I think you're out of charges for until like the following morning.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully by then we'll be safe, right?
Oh, actually, you rested and then marched into battle in the morning, but you sent the message while you were resting. So you do have one. You have recharged it.
I'll save it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think doing that, hearing that news, she does kind of start to like passively help get people up and try to figure out a way to get us out of here, I guess.
Sure. So all in all, you do get the people that are able to be revived and awakened. You get them awakened. You kind of have a collected group. I'll just pull everybody into the middle for. Oh, and at some point, somebody looks over and like sees Dyer is just like exhausted and like passed out in a corner.
Oh no.
Just
He's been through
completely
a lot.
zonked. Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave these guys up here. So at some point, you guys have this collective group up together. Is there anything else that you guys want to do while you're having conversations here? More investigation, yada yada. What's the? So it's just kind of like the first round of like what everybody's doing.
Can we backtrack real quick to what we saw when Dro came over and looked at this guy?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so give me investigation there.
It's a 4.
4. Dwarf. Dark-skinned dwarf with no beard.
Interesting.
Got some fancy-looking armor. Also dead.
For
That's
contact,
about it.
for speed, Dro, kind of same speech. If there's anything there that his companion would like to take. More of a suggestion, if anything. Token or member or whatever.
Find a good frontman. Then he wasn't very good. But he's a friend. So... yeah, he used to tell stories and jokes just to get everybody to laugh before we went into a fight. I had to save his ass constantly. Figures that he'd be one of the first ones to go. He wasn't ever really well suited for adventuring. Probably should have been a cook instead. But this is what he loved. I've got the memories I need. And we're not exactly hurting for coin. But she kind of like pats a pouch.
Which side, everybody?
Yes, you notice. Right hip. But she says to Droves, that armor's worth a pretty penny, though. You want it. Consider that thanks for getting a few of us out of here.
Hesitant on taking it, but I'll just kind of look and kind of give like a small bow. Appreciate it.
No, she walks off. I don't care, I'm just not gonna take it. It'd make me sad. She walks off.
I'll grab it. Is it anything in particular?
It looks kind of clockworky, like magic-y.
Is it light
looks-
armor?
It looks like a artificer made it.
Okay. Just
And let me check. I don't think it is light armor. It's pretty heavy, but I'm just gonna double check myself. Yeah, not heavy. This is, or not light. This is definitely heavy armor. Okay. Anybody else do another look-sees or conversations or anything?
Our group is headed north. I don't know where you all are headed. I can't imagine you want to stay here. But you're welcome to come with us. As long as you travel wisely. Keep your hands to yourselves and no funny business, of course.
Marge kind of cracks her knuckles, and Viera like slaps her upside the head. No. Just wanted to spar.
Listen,
Dro just
I
looks
would
at
be-
Yaslin.
listen, if you want to spar, I'm down to spar. Maybe after we get out of this.
Let's find a right good spot for that, maybe.
Remind me, oh, he's very asleep. Did anyone happen to memorize Dyer's map?
Did you say that again? It went a little robotic.
Did anyone happen to memorize Dyer's map?
Nor if that's as much as I know.
Yes, I have a general idea of the direction we must go, but there's something that is interesting to me, and I believe it is in a different direction from where we are going.
How different?
Ah,
30
East.
degrees.
over the mountains, I believe. I just started going a little bit Irish there.
It's Seamus. He does it to you.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I just hear it and I go, oh, right, it's the voice that's working. It's high pitched, that makes it works.
Just a wee bit.
It is to the east, I believe, perhaps southeast from where we are right now. It's
I see.
completely slipped my mind as we were traveling.
Can we see that from the air?
What's over there that you see?
Uh,
Uh,
I'm looking for a person, in particular a person who seems to know a little bit more about something that I am looking for. Naturally, I understand that this is not nearly as important as getting these people to safety and, of course, getting up to Aurora's Rest. But knowledge. I do not know how long this person will be staying in this place, and so I am relatively interested. This person is supposed to know quite a bit about flora and fauna and even people. And if I'm lucky, perhaps they might even know a little bit about spirits.
does the person have a name?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's a great start. Do you want to share that with us?
Oh, yes, if you would like to know.
Did I say this person's name last week? Because
Oh, no, this is multiple weeks ago.
oh, okay.
I have my nice little journal here with notes on everyone in the party and everyone we've ever met and locations of interest in people and personal quests.
Okay, got it.
These
Seamus.
persons...
Awesome.
You have barely a paragraph in my little book.
That's as long as it starts out with awesome.
It starts out with Seamus.
It's a good
The
start.
next word is black.
Definitely a good start.
The name is Yana Rockenfort. Not fart, fort.
Yes.
What?
I know it sounded like I said that.
I'm like, okay. I don't know how credible this person is, but
I suppose I should explain myself a little bit more. Everyone was asleep when this happened, and so I think it's fair that you do not know. So, when we stayed at the inn, before we went to the bathhouse, I spoke with the innkeeper, and I was very convincing somehow. And they happened to share with me a name of somebody who had recently been through that happened to know about some of the stuff that I am looking for, or supposedly knows. Okay. I should say this could possibly be just simply a dead end. But it has my interest, and I am simply interested in looking at the map and seeing if it would be too far out of the way. Perhaps if it is, maybe I journey by myself and regroup with you at the rest.
Charles just gonna walk over to Dyer's bag and try to grab his map.
Mine, no, the roots are bad. Oh. Hi. Can I help you?
Where's your map?
Oh, it's right here. And he'll reach in and pull it out.
Charles will grab it and then walk over to Dolphin and imagine it's rolled up, unroll it, just kind of face it towards him. Does this help?
I am specifically looking, well, actually, do you still have your picture that had all the cities on it?
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now.
Because I know where we are, and the map that I've been creating for you doesn't have the cities on it, so.
Yep, I'm throwing it in right now.
Did we all gather around the map?
Yep.
On the map, on the map, on the map, on the map. Open in browser. Ah, very interesting. Yes, perhaps this is somewhere we can go once our quest to Aurora's Rest has been completed. This would be very far out of the way, and I do not want to delay our quest to find the Guild of Knowledge. Thank you for your time and consideration, though.
Where is it?
It is in the White Marsh. That is a little bit south of us.
South of the Ripple Mountains, yes.
Yes. I do not have very good map awareness.
Don't we have to pass through that to get to the weird knowledge portal thing?
One of them. But we do not have to go to that portal.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, we are
We
going to.
could probably take the one in Aurora's Rest to the Umbral Empire. That'll put us closer to the White Marsh.
That would make sense.
Well,
Didn't you-
case in point, and Seamus, you're more familiar than I am, correct me if I'm wrong, they're not interchangeable portals. They're directly connected to the Guild of Knowledge itself, and then go back to wherever they came from. For example, I don't believe you can travel between Aurora's Rest and the Umbral Empire using that portal. Now, is there feasible means that somebody has, like, say, a teleportation circle set up between the two? Yes.
Perhaps we can find one of these airships that Seamus keeps talking about.
Yeah, about that. Kind of forgot to mention there may or may not be a port at Aurora's Rest.
Like a port for boats or a port for flying boats?
Yes.
Oh. Good answer.
Well, and X speaks up. Well, if you're looking for a place to get an airship, there's one space not too far away. But Everyone's giving me strange looks.
I,
I and Beator can get the group of us there. I don't expect this place will stay here for much longer.
Yeah, no, I think we're on a time crunch on that a little bit.
Basically through this conversation, you guys begin to hear that chiming, occasionally getting closer and louder, almost like a train oncoming from a long ways away, but instead of like a whistle or a horn, it's like a chiming begins to get louder and louder and louder, come towards you.
Oh, I think that's our train out of here.
Yeah, I think that's our cue, guys. Y'all know how to get out of this pit? I mean, I'm just going to climb the walls, but...
Do we know what that is? Would we know that it's a returning or whatever? The sound?
They're retreating.
The retreating? Would we know that?
I think...
Yeah, it was something like Seamus, Yaslin, and Margot were the only ones that knew, or something like that. But you had only ever read about it, and you do start to hear it, and the ground begins to sink you in slightly. Well, this is lovely, and it's going to make a great story, but I can feel the rocks between my toes. I don't like this.
You don't have boots? Where are your boots?
Why do you... It points over to Marge. She doesn't have boots either.
Honestly, to be fair, yeah, I understand. Boots are a little overrated, but...
They're restricted.
I know, but... I mean, they protect your feetsies from danger.
Walk and talk, people. We've got to get
Please.
out.
Right, sorry.
Or walk and climb, or talk and climb.
Yeah, Yaslin, like, apologizes, and then she just, kind of, rock climber grip starts going up.
are there any of you who do not think that you can climb?
Not
Look at
that
all these
high up.
people who are suddenly raising their hands. Okay, there's something
Dire.
like 2 or 3 people.
Bro can't climb, are you kidding me?
Actually, no. Dro's gonna stop, pull the rope out, and before Yaslin takes off, tie it around her waist, and then tie it around his.
Oh, are you serious? I'm going to drag you up this...
I'll attempt to climb.
Okay, as long as you're putting in a little bit of effort, I don't want to be, the 100% into 0 over there.
That's fair.
Alright, come on, let's
Up
go.
we go.
Just try to follow the same footholds that I do. Although, to be fair, some of my probably things I'm grabbing aren't really footholds and they're just nails clawed in like they just taken.
Yep. So for ease of narrative, because we did most of this last time, because I wanted to show it off. The climbing doesn't go very well, because
Oh, no.
everything around you is turning semi-solid.
Oh, this sucks.
And eventually the series of events that I described last time are come to fruition in the space kind of the last bit yank up and then disappear. The core, the ground, the bodies that were already dead, everything within a couple of miles is gone. And you just remain in this large underground pit. And there's a long drag over to the side of the ocean. The water begins to rush in.
During this time,
We're
Oh, go
stuck
ahead.
in a
Yeah,
pit.
more like you guys. It's more like you guys quicksanded to the bottom, but it didn't bother your breathing or anything.
Oh, nice, guys. I don't like this.
No.
I will turn into a deagle and just fly up and down.
Okay, sounds good. Are you trying to like transport people and like put them on the ledge?
Yeah, I suppose I should not just say up and down because then my character will just be like, oh. Yes, the idea is to grab as many people, starting with those who are the most wounded, and bringing them up as high as I can to get as far away from the water. If the water starts getting far closer than it should, and there are still people down there and I won't be able to save everyone, then I will wild shake back into my druid form and start casting water magic. But we
Okay.
can cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, sounds good. So you guys, the ground sinks away, and as everything kind of like vanishes, let's see, with the investigations that were going on previously, also you guys find here you go. You guys find 437 gold amongst the dead adventurers. And you find kind of an assorted 6 spell scrolls as well. And actually, no, I'm gonna take that one off. And you find 2 more potions of healing. There are empty potions of healing in each room, except for Wanton's room has 2 undrink.
You said various spell scrolls?
Yeah, various spell scrolls. So I'll get you guys like the list of which ones those are a
Very well.
little later. So there is some like additional like loot associated with there. Let's see, you got the focus. Okay, in Dro and Yaslin, did you guys try to loot anything from the rooms that you were in?
Dro took the clockwork armor.
The clockwork armor? Okay.
I think I was in the room with that one, but
Yeah.
she probably wouldn't have taken anything.
Okay. Cool. So you guys do get a little bit more loot and gold and such like that. And as you get everybody down there, awakening the 2 up at the top as well, you see the onrush of water. Doffbird is handling the most wounded people on his back. And what are the rest of you doing?
Is it like coming toward us? Like, you see it?
For those of you that have stupid high perception, yeah, you do see there is water coming towards you.
Okay, guys. Going. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, we're running
Hauling ass
towards the
out of there.
direction that, yeah, X
Hauling
says out to head.
A little bit of... Just a moment.
Just a
Turns-
moment.
He turns and says something to Beodorf in a language that I don't think any of you understand. What languages do y'all know?
Where's languages on here?
I think
Their
it's your
attributes.
attributes?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
We've got Elvish, Dwarvish, Undercommon, and Aquan.
Common, celestial, elvish, and quarry.
Okay.
Druidic, Sylvan, Primordial, Common, Elvish, and Naush.
I know, common,
what?
orc, and draconic, and ignin.
Eh.
Thieves' Cant, Infernal, Abyssal, Undercommon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Leo knows common.
Leo knows common. Oh god.
Yep.
That fits in
I was gonna
Richter
say,
so
that
well,
sounds
though.
perfect.
He is really suited. It makes sense. That seems like a Leo thing. Like, why would I need more languages? This one is the
Mhm.
perfect one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for real. And the two kind of alienoid looking guys, they kind of gather up and it's like, if everyone is willing, we can handle the travel.
Yes, please.
Just look
Okay,
up the
what does that
dolphin who's
involve?
flying.
Just don't fight it.
Okay.
You're asking a lot
And
of me.
he doesn't have, neither of them have facial expressions.
That's 100% what Dro's trying to read and struggling.
Yeah, roll insight if you want to roll insight.
Oh,
it's a
absolutely.
disadvantage though.
Oh, fuck.
Listen, you're asking a lot of me.
It's still a
Is this gonna
15
hurt?
at disadvantage.
A 15.
Yeah.
You can tell he's definitely teasing you. And using that word choice on purpose. And you see him like kind of tap his staff down at the top, begins to spin, and Beodorf draws one of the swords on his side and holds it in front of him. And it's like shaped almost like a scimitar, but not quite as curvy. And on it there are some runes that kind of glow along the side. And they both kind of like reach out a hand, and you feel kind of a tingle of energy in the air as runes kind of like flow out of their hands and sit over each of you individually. And the runes begin to like emit an energy almost like a small dome over each of those in the group, and one by one, until everybody is out of there as they cast 2 instances of teleport.
What? Whoa.
Sick.
Oh crap, I forgot to make a scene here. Eep. Okay, so I'll just throw it into the chat then. You all, like, the rain and the stickiness, this kind of like oppressive energy is gone, and instead you guys wind up staring out at the ocean in front of you, and kind of like not too far off you see like a large amount of water like funneling towards the essentially gulf that you guys just created, and it's almost like this rippling like pour into there, and you hear the sounds of like hammers and the smell of black powder, and you look around and you come across the, let's see, I'm gonna open this up. And you see kind of this like several layers of like tall buildings with short stories to them, and it just kind of goes on and on and on, and there is this sense of like building in there, and you see people shouting and all sorts of things just being made and shuffled around and people moving all over the place. And you turn around and you are on some sort of like docking platform, and you see what is essentially like, the way that I keep envisioning it is the river town from The Hobbit that Smaug destroyed. But take that and it's all full of little people. Dwarves, gnomes, goblins, halflings, fae, all sorts of races that are short in stature are just buzzing around. Even some like dark dwarves and dark gnomes are just like moving around, and like all of them are just like busy building shit or selling something. And it is like just being from where you guys were, when everything kind of vanished, so did the scent of what was around you, and then suddenly you guys are assaulted with fish, ocean, gunpowder, smoke, plasma, electricity, just all sorts of like workshop smells just hit you. And you hear X say, "Welcome to the town I am probably most hated in. Wibble." It's Wibble.
Wibble.
Mm-hmm. I actually thought of that. Margot is most close to everybody else's height here.
I'm actually taller than folks.
I could fit in,
Mm-hmm.
barely.
Yeah, I feel like everyone else is like up to like rib cage, like waist. Like,
Oh, kobolds. You see a bunch of kobolds as well.
oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Margot hides her money
Yeah,
pouch a
like-
little more securely. Going down the shirt or something, it's not out where anyone can grab it. Yeah. Margot and Yazin both put their money pouches down their shirt.
Yeah, they're like, and into the bra it goes.
Safest
It's
place
like,
for the
wait,
money.
why do each of you have one boob that is bigger than the other?
I have like
No.
over 300 gold too, so.
Yeah, it's like a note. Wibble.
Yeah, you guys are on a coastal town not too far away from where the territory of Paishan reached out, and you guys are probably about a half mile up the coast in the northern direction from where the coast kind of disappeared and everything is like spilling into the air like a sea mist as it gets dragged into the new space. And you guys are, and I forgot to make a scene for it, but I will do so as we're on break. But yeah, we'll come back in 20 minutes so you guys get into this new space. Loud, obnoxious, stinky, smoky. There's sounds of shouting work people all over the place. There seems to be quite a few people whose attention is on the rushing water a little south of town. And you guys just have this new space just to take in, you know, like where are you at? Let's go with Margot. You're up first this time.
I think she definitely looks a little overwhelmed because they were just in a dead city that got blinked out of existence, and now they're in the middle of this city.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a lot to think about right now, so I think she's visibly unsettled, but not saying much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Margot's kind of got sticker shock going on, just like especially because you guys were just surrounded by the most literal nothing that you've ever experienced for quite a while. Dro, what's on your mind? Where are you at with this?
Question: would Dro know what a teleport spell is?
Oh yeah, you definitely have heard about it.
But has he ever experienced it?
Probably not. Oh yeah, anybody that hasn't done a teleport spell, which is everybody except Seamus, I would say. Give me a Constitution saving throw. And Dolphin / Doffbird does get teleported with the two that he was carrying.
Anybody that's been to gliders has been maybe kind of teleported. Different sort of thing.
Not quite the same. Yeah. Hey, Dro,
I
you
killed
are
it.
So much better.
you are not feeling well.
This just adds to what I was gonna say. So, looking visibly sick, Dro's just gonna make his way over to the two that casted the spell. Lean over. Kind of look around. Did you shrink everybody?
No, whatever do you... No. This is just how this town is.
Right. And just kind of put his hand. Well, fuck, he's like 7 foot tall. Never mind.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Just kind of. Okay, and just walk.
Oh,
over.
and Be a Dwarf is also very tall. He's more like 6'8".
Okay, yeah. He's gonna just make his way and stand next to Yaslin and just try not to hurl.
Are you?
No,
Bro, are you okay?
Nope. no.
Okay. It'll be okay. You'll be okay. I hope. I think.
Just head
Look
down,
at that.
thumbs up.
Look a little green over there, water boy.
Wish I had great water. It's just the thumbs up goes to the middle finger.
I guess I'll do one for Leo, too.
Oh, should I roll console?
Yep, Yaslin, you as well. Yep,
Ha!
with you. That sucked. Oh, God.
Oh, come on.
Guys, I don't.
And Corin's like, I'm not excited to do that again. Okay.
X, how unwelcome are you here?
Nowadays, it's fine. No, there's a bit of a bias here, but I'm sure you'll soon find out.
Anything that we need to be concerned about?
If you're accustomed to respect, expect none of it here.
We should get along just grand.
What was that?
Can I throw him in the water now?
Who?
Whoever just said that. They're all like pint size compared to her.
Oh no, this is X. That was something that X said in response to
I want to throw him
Seamus's
in the water
question.
more.
That's a long javelin you gotta pick up to be able to toss properly.
Scottish log throwing or whatever that's called.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my day.
No. Now, if you If you don't mind, we'll be staying over at the Humble Brag. Right. It's, we know the owners. We've helped them out previously. That last spell took quite a bit out of both of us. We do need to retire and recuperate.
Thank you quite a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Mark.
Margot.
Oh, I thought he said Corin for some reason. I was really confused. I was still processing that. No, I just said I think we need to as well. Like rest.
Is that a quality establishment that you're staying at there? Would you say it's the finest in town, really?
That's an interesting question. Fine and this town are not exactly synonymous. But it does just fine if you can block out background noise.
Head still down. Can do that. Well, all noise actually, but that's besides the point.
You're welcome to join us if you like. You can try to find your own lodgings as well.
Seems as good as any, I suppose. Does anyone have anything to say otherwise?
The air here is so disgusting. I was entranced at the beauty of the ocean as it overtook the lands that we have freed up. And then I was so rudely brought back to reality by simply breathing. I do not like this.
And Beodorf is going to come over and like put his hand on your shoulder. And you don't hear anything from him. And he's just gonna like, his shoulders are gonna move, just like he's kind of chuckling, and he's gonna walk off. And Axel will come over. Well, the good news is this place won't like you either.
So the people here do not breathe well, and they are not welcoming. I do not understand. We should not stay here long.
If that is how you feel, then you are welcome to depart as soon as you are able. Now, follow us this way, and the three others, Chai, Bureau, Marge, they'll join you as well. And the herd of you that gets into the, like, kind of wanders through town. Anybody who is curious about reading the people here, go ahead and give me an insight check as you guys are walking through.
Where's my dice?
Don't trust the digital.
Oh, there it is!
No,
There it is.
Oh, that was a pretty good roll too.
Oh, that
Dolphin
was almost
is-
another natural.
Dolphin is just...
Dirty 20.
just
I think there's something in my gills.
Do your gills
okay, and dirty
function
20.
out of water?
Yeah. Easy. Yaslin, Margot,
Oh, fuck.
Seamus. Seamus, out of all people, you kind of don't pay attention quite as well to how the people are here. you know, kind of dirty, kind of scummy, kind of, you know, whatnot. If anything, this is feeling a little nostalgic to you. And so, like, your, like, normal, like, alertness is a little bit subdued. But Yaslin, Margot, Dro, the three of you, it is very easy to identify what X is talking about. You get a lot of, like, glares. Like, just people who are, like, seem to be having a nice moment with somebody else, like a blue bearded dwarf with some like black braids is just talking to like a couple of gnomes outside of a shop that seems to be selling some sort of like sweets. But even like the sweet shop smells a little smoky. And as soon as they see you, just and kind of like ushers them inside and closes the door.
Yaslin glares right back.
A few minutes later, there's some, like, Yaslin and Dro, basically everybody, you guys see there's some little, like, black kobolds with some green striping, like, in like, what amounts for hair for them, which is basically just some like spiky whiskers. And there's about 3 of them that all look kind of similar but with like different patterns of marking. And they're like trailing you through the city. Badly. Easy to see.
Margot's with my 26 can identify the leader.
Yeah, in the same way that you could identify a leader from the Three Stooges.
She's just gonna like glance over and mind link with the leader and just say in his head, "These people are gonna kill you if you keep following them. Maybe you should run."
You just hear like a shriek from behind you, like all 3 of these things that like you guys all knew they were there. It's just like spits on the ground near you and like runs away, and the other 2 kind of like follow after. Like one of them trips over a barrel and like almost falls into the water, and the others have to like go and grab him and like shuffle off.
Don't worry. There's stuff going through my mind too.
So how hard would it be as these guys are scrambling to get away to just pick one of them up?
Piece of freaking cake. I won't even make you roll for it.
So Yaslin's kind of sick and tired. By like the scruff, picks them up and's like,
And you definitely hear some choice words coming out of his mouth in Draconic.
oh, she understands the Draconic fully.
Uh,
So she looks at him and in Draconic is like, what is your problem?
My problem is, let me go, you tall smothering cow!
You want to take that back?
No! Rip my skin off if you have to, but no, I won't take it back.
With everyone, you have an attitude problem.
You have a stupid problem. It's like
Wait.
very clearly like trying to argue with a child. Like,
Why were you guys following us?
not telling.
In his head, he hears, "She eats your kind for breakfast, likes to skin you real slow."
Margot, roll an intimidation check for me at advantage.
Oh my gosh, Marky.
This is all in his head too. 19.
Yaslin, you hear a little, and something wet is at your feet.
Oh Oh, come on.
Yeah. Oh, it just like looks like very embarrassed, and then it kind of changes. Yeah, take that, you giantess! Nasty thing.
Is it because we're all tall? Are you guys jealous?
Ugh. Gross. Ugh, don't be absurd. Height is a curse.
Is it?
Yes. Ugh. Can't fit in small spaces. Hitting your head all over the place when you fall. It takes forever to hit the ground.
Is this all in Draconic still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I feel like being shorter means you take longer to hit the ground. Should we test that?
What? What are you talking about? None of them make any sense at all.
How light is this snowball?
Dude's like a sack of potatoes to you. Like,
I like test his ways to see how easily I can do this.
Oh. This is making the dog very concerned. Uh-huh. Yeah, we're talking about you.
Jaslyn, what are you doing?
They're following us. I mean,
Well,
I'm asking
yes.
them questions.
They're very well traversed in stealth. Just staring at him like you're a moron.
Yeah, they're not
He's-
very intelligent.
Obviously.
Hey! I can hear you, you know!
Alright, well then
So you're
tell us
wrong,
what
I'm
you want-
very intelligent.
Well,
That's
then
why
tell us
you're
what
in
you
her
want
hands
to
right now?
She tricked me.
So, it means I'm the more clever one.
No!
Oh, you fell for my trick.
No, it means you're evil and scheming.
Mm, probably not.
It would appear as though this man kissed his pants.
Yeah, take that! Ah!
Would you like it back?
Oh,
I don't understand.
Well, you see, generally within urine there is water, and
Oh no.
therefore I should be able to put the liquid back into you or on top of you, should you desire to continue being. I believe the proper word would be annoying.
this is what Marco threatened.
She grabbed me. I was minding my own business.
By following us?
Minding your own business by following us.
Everyone
Your
else.
eyesore.
This whole place is a nice one.
You see him like being visibly offended for the first time, like legitimately. You don't know what the beauty of Ribble is.
I wonder if the air here poisons their brains.
We're immune.
Sure.
We're immune to breathing bad air.
This may be my favorite like impromptu NPC I've ever made, guys.
Oh my goodness. So you take pride in this place.
Isn't so bad down here when you're up tall. You have to breathe it in.
Looks at Drew. Or Dro.
True.
Sorry. Stop
Yes, it is very nice. Now go to sleep.
Is there a reason we're still talking to him?
Yeah, I wanted to know why he was following us. So why were you following us?
You will never know.
Go ahead and use Druidcraft, and I'm going to just make the smell of a skunk just kind of around him.
He looks confused. I was like,
Wait, did I do that? Take that too!
There's like water. There's like a dock that we're near, isn't there?
oh yeah, you guys are basically like walking along a pier like this whole time. Like the whole town is a connection of little like stone and wooden like walkways and bridges and nets and things. Like you can't go you can't go 15 feet away from a building and not have water nearby.
You know how to
Trying to
swim.
see if Yaslin's drawing attention, which I imagine she is.
Caitlin doesn't care.
Oh, I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. Yeah, lots of eyes on you right now. Just like there's a couple of like almost black, like grayish black skinned gnomes with like white hair and just like a little poof on top, like itty bitty. We're talking like a foot and a half. They look like children, just kind of like giggling and pointing, and like a mother who is kind of like curly hair, like almost framing her face, like covers their eyes and like it's funny.
Why are you so stubborn?
Tro just looks at Yaslin.
Why am I so stubborn?
It is a waste of our time. They are not worth our time. Throw them in the ocean, bro.
Throw him in the ocean?
Before you do, he actually answers your question in probably like the only intelligent way that he says.
It's from a dragon's blood, real hard-headed.
Please drop him into the water.
Alright, and she like winds her arm back.
I said drop, not throw.
I'm gonna roll a d20 to see how graceful he is on this. Oh,
Oh,
thank you
no.
for rolling low. Just like full on like belly flop into like a skid and like sinks down.
Are the other two still around?
Give me a quick perception check.
Math. 17.
Long gone.
Okay.
Does he look like he's swimming okay?
Takes like a minute to like resurface. Probably about like a good 20 seconds go by before you see a look.
How far did she
Seems to
throw
be
him?
like about with this guy's weight and her strength. Toss him about 15 feet.
Joe's just gonna take a step on the water, cast water walk over, drag him, put him on the dock, not say anything, and walk back.
You see him just kind of like sitting there and he's like twitching a little bit.
Actually, before he gets too far back away, Joe's gonna turn around. Don't follow strangers. And if you are, get better. And just walk away.
You see, give me with your passive insight, you actually see him take that into consideration.
Should get better.
Just walk across the water and right up onto where they were.
We rest now.
Please.
And this whole time, you guys have like Beodorf and X are long gone. They've just kept going.
Can we see their heads above the crowd though? Cause like they're pretty tall.
You can see their ass cheeks above the crowd. Yeah, it is easy to like navigate around and find them and kind of like catch back up. And you guys get into. Are you guys doing anything before you get to the tavern?
watching the surroundings as we walk.
Yeah, making sure nobody else is trying to decide to tail us.
Okay, cool. So, Yaslin, give me a perception check for that.
Can I help and give her advantage?
Yeah.
Ah, that 20 was so close.
I know.
19. You do notice, like, you are drawing attention like crazy just as you walk around, even more so, like, then after you had your confrontation with the little shitty
After I
kobold.
do the kobold.
Mm-hmm. But also, word seems to, with a 19, you can visibly see word spreading faster than you guys are walking.
Oh my gosh.
You threw a man in the water in the middle of town.
Yeah, and so at the beginning of things, like when you were starting to walk, you were starting to see eyes like track you, and then you had eyes on you, and then by the time you get to the tavern, there are eyes anticipating you.
Oh, well, that's good. At least they know what they're going to expect. Right? Uh, okay, don't look at me like that. I understand. I probably shouldn't have thrown the kobold.
Let's get some rooms here before we make too much of a fuss.
I do
Please.
not think that it really matters at the end of the day whether or not you threw him in. It seems as though in this place, perhaps we just might not be very well liked. I would sleep with one eye open, especially now.
Perhaps we could get a suite of sorts and set guard. Sleep in the same room.
Party.
Oh, that kind of sweet. Oh, yes, yes. That is a good idea. I'm sorry, sometimes the translation is weird.
Common is weird. It's this like hodgepodge of, collected languages, and there's like exceptions to every rule, and there's exceptions to the exceptions, and
Well, it doesn't help that Dauphin grew up speaking an entirely different language and just kind of learned Common over the course of time as opposed to that being his native language.
yeah, for sure. I knew Kiki would get a kick out of my
Linguistics joke. I loved it.
Jab in English.
It was wonderful.
Okay, so
Margot's
you guys
just gonna roll her eyes and walk up to the innkeeper.
So as you guys get in, this is one of the taller buildings around, and as I mentioned, like the tall ones in the group, Theodorf, X, let me see who's tallest out of y'all. Corin is very tall. Dyer's fairly tall as well. Dyer's like 6'1", Corin's like 6'7", I think.
Dyer's only 6'1".
What's up?
I would say Dyer's only 6'1". I thought he was taller.
Did I say he was taller at some
I
point?
don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking that. Because Dro's 5'10", almost 6 foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dyer's not super tall, but he is like a little bit taller than average, I think. So as you guys are walking, like there's some times where like the 3 or 4 tallest have to like duck because there's like a balcony that's like literally like too low for their head. That's like built right over the walkway, and you get up and there's probably 7 or 8 layers, like stories to this particular building. Oops. It's large and square in fashion, and each of the corners kind of has like a built-out base, almost like an extra rectangle that's been like pulled off of the corners. So the whole thing kind of has this like cubey shape with lines like intersecting in the middle. But each story is short. So like as you guys get in, first of all, X kind of grunts and says, "Welcome to the humble brag," and opens it up. And as soon as he opens up the door, you guys hear a lot of noise. Like, oh no, sorry, this one's way better. You open up the door and it's just like a blast of sound comes out, and there is like music playing. There's raucous noises. There are several bars. In fact, there are, as you first step in, this first area is the only place that seems tall enough to kind of accept the rest of, like, most of you. It's like above the bar. It goes up to about 15 feet and then stops. It's not a very high ceiling at all. But there's different bars in each one of those four corners, and each one of those four corners kind of has like this almost like an empty piece of the floor where it's just far enough that between them that there's about like 10 feet worth of space. It's almost like a 10-foot by 15-foot like dance floor in each of those four corners. There's a bar for each of them, and there's kind of like stadium seating around each one, and it even like dips down a little bit as well. And there is also a central bar, lots of tables and such inside of the main taller area as well. And then you see the ceiling just kind of cuts off. There's spiral staircases, kind of a couple of in the back behind the bar as well. Oh, and as X goes in, he has to duck significantly to get in. And Marge, who's the broadest of all of you, like, she actually has to get help from Biera to like position her head properly and like get her shoulders in, like almost like trying to move a couch through a doorway is essentially how Marge enters into the room. The rest of you have to duck a little bit, but Margot goes in basically fine. It's like, you know,
place is really
several
high.
inches above her. Mm-hmm.
Is this what your homeland is like then? All small like this?
You asking Margo?
Yeah.
And she just glares at you.
That is a yes.
Well, we're waiting. We're expectantly waiting your answer.
Shro just walks up and squats down a little next to her.
Actually, Margot reaches over, touches you, and casts Blight.
I'm waiting for something.
I was looking at that. I was looking at.
I saw it in your head.
Looking at her spell.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Like, chill touch.
She healed him just to hurt him.
Did somebody say fireball?
Hey, I got evasion now.
He's evasion now. Perfect. I can cast fireball on him.
Blow up the end.
I think I think she's right now not in a headspace for that. So she's just gonna lock eyes with Joe and just sigh and be like, I don't have time for this. I need rest, and walk away.
Just kind of grins. Also, now that he is that close up to Margot, because that
You
was
really want
another
to
reason.
see it.
Yeah, that was another reason. Because Margot's been real quiet. Does she look visibly different?
Give me a perception check.
"21."
For 21, she looks strained. She's got bags under her eyes. She's covered in soot and tree ash and rain. Basically, all of you look like your mascara is running. Which, in that regard, you guys look like you're a perfect fit for this town because you're covered in like just gunk, and it looks like you're covered in like gunk and gunpowder.
I think it'd be
Oh,
weird for
and-
Dro though, because usually she cleans herself up right away after a battle.
Yeah. Oh, there's your episode title, possibly. Gunk and gunpowder. She seems off, or she looks exhausted, but it wasn't an insight roll. So, like, reading into like what's going on with her, I'm not sure.
Without doing insight, can I tell something's different? Like how she just said she didn't clean herself after a fight.
Yeah, you can see that, and that tracks is like a little weird.
She starts to walk away. Joe's gonna grab her by the arm and kind of tap like his head, hoping she gets what he's trying to have her do.
He's gonna go into his head. What?
You do realize the plan where we didn't sacrifice you was the better option. And then a few seconds later, also you can talk to us if something's bugging you.
What's bugging me is how insistent you guys are at staying awake after we fought a literal giant tree.
I mean, that's fair. But the offer's still there. And he's gonna go stand next to Yaslin, just kind of take in the surroundings.
Innkeeper.
And you call out and look over, and you don't see anybody at the countertop. But as you say it, like, you get a little fluttering above you. You get some like red and brown. You get a kind of a red and brown trail as somebody like comes down and lands on like what amounts to like an upside down mug, and it is a fairy with kind of like wings that look like they're made at like their pattern is of fire, but with like also like dirt crumbles kind of like mixed in. Jeez, I cannot stop hitting things on my table. And this fairy has kind of like a long, like pointy, like chin beard that's got like some braids in it, and like a little bit of like a just like a front mohawk. Like the rest of their head is like bald, except for the first that part up here is just like a tuft. Like, hi, yeah, what?
What's the biggest room you got here? You got a suite, presidential or something large.
Yeah, we carry rooms for largies like you. They cost more. A lot more.
I can pay large enough for a group of 7.
There's 8 of us.
8?
Corn, are you staying with us?
I think for the moment, yes, I will. I think that tunnel that I was in was the best lead that I have. I just need to figure out how to access it. But for now, yes.
Group of 8.
For that many, I'm gonna charge you a whole floor. It's also the biggest.
Okay.
That's the space we got. You gotta go all the way up to the top. That'll be 16 gold.
Includes meals and drinks.
No. For that much, charge you 30. Based on how big y'all are. Oh dear. He kind of looks at all of it and kind of excluding the other ones is like, Those giant bellies of yours? Yeah, you'd drain me dry if I included that. Unless it's up for, yeah, about 30 gold if you want some extra service.
We
Do you
do
guys
not
want
need
it?
No.
16
Easily I
gold.
can provide for us.
16 it is.
I'll give him the 16 gold.
Alright. And he flitters down, comes up with like a key that is, about a quarter of his body. Because he's not a tiny creature, but he is like very short.
Wow.
It's a big old key. It's like, top floor. I'd say watch your heads, but I don't care. And he gives it to you, and it's just like, none of the rooms are locked. The key will get you to the whole thing.
Okay.
I've never wanted to punch everybody in a town more than right now.
See, I feel like I'm very justified in my actions in this town.
For once,
fucking
Dro
assholes.
agrees.
Margot's just gonna head straight upstairs if anybody follows her or not.
We could get some drinks.
There is no need. They will upcharge you.
They'll upcharge us either way. I feel like they'll probably upcharge us for the air we breathe. Better get going now before they that. She starts heading up.
I feel like I should
Nah.
wear a helmet that is just constantly pouring water. Because I would much rather breathe that right now than having to deal with this. It's like a fishbowl on my head.
And as you do this motion, there's lots of like fire and like tobacco and stuff, and like as you do this, there's a little swirl in the air where your finger like,
Ugh.
picked up the current. It's like it is thick out inside here.
The
I'm gonna,
higher up we go, is the air worse? Or does it get better being at the very top?
So as you go up, first of all, you guys are cramped. Like anybody who is going up, like it is a spiral staircase, but you guys are like hunched over and like constantly like having to turn awkwardly, especially like people who are large, or Yaslin, like with your battle axe, it keeps like scraping on the, like the side of the wall.
Well,
Yep.
I'm not paying for the repairs.
hmm But yeah, you're not sure. Like the air quality, air circulation does not seem to be a quality control concern here, and it's just bad the whole way up.
Dolphin is going to go from talking like this to talking a little bit more like this.
A smoker from Jersey. Okay, you guys get up to the top, and like who's the last one out? Like to go up the stairs.
I will be. I was gonna watch for anybody to see if they followed us or more. I mean, eyeing us more. If anybody is already eyeing us.
Okay, yeah, you get like the wave of stink eye like crazy for sure. But Seamus, give me a perception check. $15. You definitely see like a lot of people who are like paying attention to you and like leaning over and like talking about you, and some people are like being very blatant about it, like pointing and whatnot. Some people are being a little more subtle. There are a couple of people that are like going a little more for stealth, and like as you look over, there's just like this barest hint of like they were looking straight at you, and as soon as your head starts to turn, they turn and like start talking about something else over here. One of them is like a goblin with kind of a yellowy greenish skin with like hair that is like almost straight back, like it's been in an explosion, and it looks like a little bit crispy. And the other one is a halfling who has like this like immaculate chin beard strap and some like finer clothes.
I'll note that and go out behind everybody else, close the door behind us, lock it.
Okay. And as you leave that bottom area, you hear that same kind of like innkeeper flit over, and you kind of hear like the closing end of like the beginning of a speech, like, and now it's time for another great debate. Who has the epic tale? Who is the liar? As like the door kind of closes.
Where's Dyer?
I wanted to
Oh,
talk
he's-
to Dyer too.
Oh yeah.
Did he follow us up?
Yeah, Dyer's with you guys, and like Dyer's a little bit in shock. Like as you guys kind of go up, he's like, that was fascinating.
That's what I was afraid of.
The fight?
What?
What?
No,
was
you
happening?
you picking on somebody small. I think that's already well established as character
No, not
basics.
that fight.
Oh,
Big
what? No. Also not the tree. Although that is definitely getting its like, oh, that'll have its own show and performance, not just like a scene. No, this place. There's so many different ways that it is culturally disgusting. It's fascinating.
Let's just defend the city
They
more.
hate you. They hate me. I've never been hated for my height before. This is new.
Oh, that's new for you.
Usually people hate me for all sorts of different reasons, just not how tall I am.
Can't imagine why.
It's like it's like exploring a new vintage, new varietal of wine that I've never had before. Yeah, I'm just going to savor it. This
Don't savor this one.
is
Don't.
he seems like kind of giddy right now.
This
Dyer,
town
what do you
makes
know
me
of...
Go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
This town makes me sad.
Huh? Why?
Well, hatred is just ignorance. And ignorance is just the absence of knowledge, just a misunderstanding of how things are. You simply do not. I do not know. You simply do not know. In so many people being so hateful for no reason, without knowing anything, it makes me sad. These
Oh.
people do not. They deserve to have some form of knowledge given to them, widely available, that would help them cope with their dickishness.
Excellent use of the word. Buffy,
Good.
come with me for a moment. And he kind of grabs you by the shoulder and leads you over to a window.
Doffin
They're not-
visibly uncomfortable underneath his grasp.
Dyer completely aware of that fact and doing it anyways. Now, look out there. Tell me what you see. And he kind of gestures out, and there's somebody who walks by a bakery, and a very portly, like, dwarven woman, like, waves enthusiastically like runs inside and brings out like a couple of like baked bread loaves and just gives them to him. Like reaches for his coin pouch, and you see children like running across the wharf, and one of them kind of trips and falls, and you see like a pretty sturdy gnome who's like almost like as wide as he is tall, but in like a muscle sort of way, like reaches down and grabs the child by the arm and like gently like lifts them back up and sets them down, like, and like leans down and like kind of gives them like a little lecture and like smiles and like waves them away. You see a couple of people like, walking out of a shop, like visibly exhausted from whatever work that they were doing. They're covered in, they have like smocks on, and they're covered in soot and kind of tar. And one of them kind of like goes out and just kind of breathes in, and somebody else comes and slaps him on the back, and kind of gestures, and like they kind of walk off, and the guy kind of leaves in a little bit better spirits. And tell me, what do you see out there?
I see people who are ignorant in more ways than one.
I think I'm looking at the same thing.
The area, it's not only is it tainted by these people's unwillingness to learn, but the air is disgusting. The ground is disgusting. Even this waterway that flows through here, that this entire city is built upon, it is disgusting. These people have no care for the world around them. They are so involved in their own little worlds that they do not see what filth they live in.
Agreed. It is filthy. Straight up. What I'm trying to show you, Dauphin, however, is that they are not innately hateful. There is love out there. They love each other. They do not understand us. You're probably quite correct about that, but we do not understand them either.
You are not wrong there. The more that I go into cities and towns like this, the more I go, I do not understand why these people live their lives. Nature makes so much sense. The animals make so much sense. These people do not.
For that, I have no argument to make. I just wanted to show you something that I don't think you had seen yet. And without any more words, Dyer's just gonna kind of spin and go over to a bed and just like whole face plant. His tail kind of like flops up and like lands it down. Ah, that's. I want to say nice, but I would be lying. That's acceptable.
That was my
What was that?
How big are these beds? Do they like fit us? Are my like feet
So-
hanging off?
So as you guys were like climbing up the stairs, it's only about 5.5 feet per story or so.
Ryan,
And this is like one place where it is like 2 stories stacked on top of each other. And so all of the rooms are made larger on purpose. And so you guys kind of get like everybody gets kind of 8 rooms themselves. And then the other folks are able to like get up there as well. So like your entire kind of company right now has a floor to itself.
nice.
Dyer, you know history, right?
Quite.
Why did that happen? The retreating.
Ah. And you see Dyer get a little bit somber, which is uncharacteristic. The rule of Aeon, survival of the fittest. You've heard of it, yes? It's not.
Not the.
It's not just something to say. It's real. Something in this world keeps track. And when you can't play the game anymore, you're done. It is the other side of the coin to when something is brought in, it can also be taken out.
I don't understand it though. I mean,
Which part?
well, everything I have taught is based on balance, and the elements claim to be fighting to maintain this balance, but fire alone almost took down all of the other elements, and then we see a whole civilization eaten by a tree, and then we defeat the tree and it's gone. It just feels like everything I know is bullshit.
That your views have been shaken, have they?
Maybe I just need sleep. I don't know.
I'll say what I say, but there is no solution or thing that I can say to give you the answers you seek, Margot. It always has to come from you. You're the one that lives your life in your shoes, and nobody can ever truly empathize properly with that. And you can learn from others, of course, but if there's something that feels wrong to you now, you will ultimately have to be the one to make peace with that or not. The best I can make heads or tails of this is that there's some grand shuffling. It still somehow shakes out to be balance, even if we can't see it. And maybe perfect balance is unbalanced also. So perhaps this is a portion of the world trying to rectify some wrong that we're not aware of.
Perhaps. Perhaps survival of the fittest is the only way.
Perhaps. I'd like to think that there are moments of beauty along that particular path that help. That help.
She's just gonna go find a room and go to sleep.
Sounds good. And on this floor, there are several rooms, but there's also bedding, kind of like like a large studio apartment, like kind of a little bit hostel style. So if you want your own private space, you can go find one. You know, there's kind of a limit on it. There's like 5 private rooms, and then the rest is like all kind of common sleeping.
I think she would take a private room but leave the door open because I think we're trying to kind of keep a sense of a watch.
Mhm.
Or at least close proximity to each other in case some dumb shit goes down at night.
You guys don't do dumb shit. I don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
I don't.
I don't think it's gonna be us. I think it's gonna be something else.
Kobold assassins.
Listen, if a kobold assassin comes in, it's coming out the window. It's going out the window.
We're finally dressed.
We're at the
Ow! You
top.
stabbed me. Bye.
You're at the top floor. I hope you have a nice fall down.
Better hope there's water there.
Yaslin's eating kobolds.
Man, that kobold is such a punk.
I had so much fun playing him.
Is somebody going to be out for a little bit? I was thinking of going and grabbing a bottle and maybe taking a walk real quick before I crashed for the night.
I think that's nice. The bottom.
I can stay up for a bit.
I shouldn't be more than 40 minutes or so.
You
I'm
will.
going to hit the hat sack myself. That was a lot. I think Corin's gonna go plop himself down on a bed in the common room, just like with his shield kind of like tucked nearby.
There's windows up here, right?
There are just little glass pane windows.
Can you like open them or no?
Yeah.
So Joe's just gonna open it and kind of sit in the window and just look out in the city for a bit.
Okay.
Just see what he can see.
Seamus, I don't know what that is, but I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think,
nice.
Yaslin will probably go down to get a bottle of alcohol.
Did she
Mhm.
say that?
She said a bottle would be nice.
Joe's just gonna turn from the window and say, "Make it 2."
That's what I thought. Already on it.
Easy enough to obtain. Costs you
Does
4
any-
gold.
Yeah, does anybody else want a drink?
So where is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yes,
down there
it'll
with
help me
you.
go to sleep.
You hear from a room all the way across the floor.
I think I'll just get a drink for everybody.
Yeah,
much was
if you're doing one per, Leo says, I'll take 2.
Hey, well, Leo, you'll be owing me 2 gold back for the extra.
Joe's just gonna throw you the 2 gold before you leave.
Yeah, so if it's 1 per everybody, it's basically like two gold per bottle.
Right, I'll just take off, like, what? 20 gold? Is that it? No.
Yeah, just bring up
That's
10 bottles if you do it that way.
Yeah.
And bottles of alcohol.
Oh, any that's not finished, Jasmine's downing, so.
Okay.
We could just bring it
And
with us.
it's they give you it's a mead. It's a mead bottle, but it's like like one of those like larger bottles that's closer more like to wine.
That's nice! Oh, they really know how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you take a swig,
there it
and
is.
it's bad. It's not good.
Oh.
It's like if somebody left honey in like a very moist place and like the whole thing kind of went wrong, and then they put it in a beer.
Margot
Like,
just
yeah.
plugs her
Yeah.
nose and starts chugging.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, like, she hands them out and she's like, they're not very great. They're not very good.
It's
As
the most
expected.
expensive shit beer you've ever bought, by far.
Hopefully, this doesn't make us sick, right?
Alcohol and judgment, lovely. This fucking city's great.
Well, Well, it's probably really, I bet you these people are just overworked. But they can't drink themselves out of this sadness because the beer is horrible. It tastes like shit.
So as
Like,
this
Bet you if you drink enough, it won't taste bad anymore.
as this philosophical debate about shitty beer continues, Seamus, what are you up to?
Yeah, Seamus pulls his cape up around him and kind of spins around in a circle, and as he twirls back around, he is a foot shorter, and this older gnome-looking lady, and puffing on a pipe somehow magically. I don't even know if I can actually do that, but I'll use my shadow
Sure, why not?
magics to try to make that happen. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of try to blend in a little bit, walk the streets, and I'm looking for information. I'll ask around if I need to, but I'm trying to find where we might be able to get an airship, like where the ports are at, and then I'm also trying to gather any information about the airship companies, local owners. Specifically, I'm looking for a private owner, somebody maybe in a rough situation. If anything I can overturn about an airship company that would be ready for acquisition at some
You're
future
looking for
point.
something in foreclosure.
Right, something that could, they need an angel to sweep in and support the business.
Okay, cool. Yeah, give me an give me a oh gosh, come on, brain. Give me an investigation check. Yeah, trying to think of how this would go.
That's pretty
19.
good.
Okay. Okay. At
That's
first,
+9, by the way. That's a big +9. I'm awesome.
that is a big +1. So you get like a few weird looks at first, because you successfully like grasp like the local look, but then for you to ask things that like locals already know about, you get some like weird kind of like responses, like that are kind of like short and whatnot. But after a little bit, you kind of change your tactic up, take that as a learning, kind of reformat how you bring it up, and it's less about like, hey, what's going on with the shipyards? It's more like, did you hear about the shipyards? And then like people just like go into it right after that. And you do start to pick up a few things. There's essentially two major companies that build the ships here. One is Gallamon, Gallamon, and the other one is ARD, ARDE. The two of them compete. It's actually like a couple of cousins that kind of invented the first airships here in town, and they eventually split off, had competing ideas about how to go about it. And both are technically successful, but they have very different approaches. And with the 19, you hear that Gallamon is kind of the more approachable option for those that need it. ARD is a little bit fancier, even though fancy can kind of only go so far in this town. And Gallamon is the one that's having a harder time right now. It's one that they're still profitable, but you get to talking to like a couple of workers that are there, and they kind of give you like the inside skinny. But like their margins are shrinking kind of consistently, and like in not too long, they're not going to be making anything at all. Now have to close their doors.
Wondering if I want to go into business with ARD and just push the other company out of town.
Potential. Okay.
I will
Duffin-
grab
oh,
a
go ahead.
bottle of terrible beer and make my way back up to the group.
Sounds good. Duffin, any final things you're doing for the night? Are you drinking with the group?
Dunfin will partake in a little bit of drinking, but not more than, I don't know, probably an eighth of the bottle.
Mhm.
Just enough to wet the whistle, but not quite enough to, I don't know, douse the whistle.
Yeah.
Um,
Duffin drink.
how often does he drink?
Mhm. Or has he ever drank before?
I think he's definitely drank before. I'm sure there was a few college finals that was like, woof.
Oh, that ain't relatable.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure with a few of the islands he's gone to, he's probably stopped at a bar and been like, all right, I've been swimming all day. I might as well make it
Yeah.
harder for me to swim for a little bit.
There's probably a few like local, almost like traditional, like, what am I trying to say? But like part of a tradition or something. There's probably a few drinks associated like that too.
Oh yeah, and sweet drinks, specifically in the more tropical area that he grew up in, wouldn't be too crazy to drink something out of a coconut. So, all of that being said, when I had the confusion with sweet, with my words earlier, this was the type of thing that I was confusing it with. But while there's a little bit of sweet, it tastes primarily like shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're tasting the sweet from. This is just trash.
Yes, I appreciate the gesture, but if you would like the rest of this, please.
You know, she takes it, but it's kind of like, you know,
Thanks.
thanks. I'm sure maybe if things get really dire, we'll pop that out.
You cannot use my name as a pun in order to make me drink this swill.
I wasn't thinking you would.
When you said you were going down for drinks, I was really hoping that you would come back with alcohol that is so watered down that it is essentially water. I was looking forward to some water,
I
but
think even the water here is probably polluted beyond belief.
well,
If
yes.
anyone's paying attention to Margot, she does the same spell, but you typically see her cleaning herself up with on the bottle. No, she's not cleaning herself up with it. She does it on the bottle, and she's casting prestidigitation because I can change the flavor of an object, a little liquid for 1 hour, and she's making it taste like a rich red wine so that she can just drink more of it.
Mhm.
Oh, she's gonna
It tastes better, but it does not feel any better though.
She doesn't feel good anyway, so she's trying to drink her problems away right now.
It's like a boba beer.
Oh no!
Oh, it's so chunky.
Is Dro still at the window?
He's just sitting in it, in the conversation, listening.
Probably go over a little more quietly. You ready?
For what?
Go back home.
Takes a big swig of
Okay. Note, she takes note of that. Might be a little bit of a touchy subject.
I don't know.
You hear a ding 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 ding. You like look down at the street and Bro with his legs out. You see like 3 what would essentially be like teenage goblins. I was like just throwing rocks up at you and like walking away, acting like all like punky and proud.
Oh my god.
I can see where they're walking, right?
Oh, yeah.
How far down are they?
They're about 20 feet down, and then they like by the time they like turn off into their next thing is about 50 feet away.
20 feet down?
Mhm.
As they're walking, all of a sudden darkness appears right in front of
Yeah.
them, so they walk right into it. He times it as they go to take a step. He'll find some sort of rock or something on the street and just,
Mhm.
and then he'll just turn
Okay.
and start talking to Yaslin.
Just
Give it like 15 seconds, and then he'll drop it and act like
Mhm.
nothing happened.
And you said don't throw.
Yep, and like one of them is like turned upside down in the barrel.
What was that?
I can't believe I saw that.
I wasn't hiding it. I've done it to you guys.
Like it justifies the action.
Yeah, you just got after me for throwing one of them.
You threw them in the water.
They deserved it.
Then they deserve that. He kind of looks back over and then sees the one in the barrel. He really deserved that.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I don't know. It eventually has to happen, and I think at least not going back alone makes it better. But the mystery of how people are going to act when I show up scares me. I'm hoping, and it is very hard, and he'll kind of look at the group, especially for our group. It is a very big city, and most people can blend in as long as they don't cause a scene. He kind of looks at everybody.
Yeah, we have Dyer. We have Miss Passenger Princess. We have a fish seeking knowledge. And then whatever's going on with Seamus.
Dark and gloomy emo.
Dark gloomy emo and questionable drinking habits.
And you see like over in like one of the corners, Leo has like Kenji and Marcus out, and like they've got like 4 of the bottles around them, and
then
they're all
there's-
just like sharing it.
And then there's that.
Yes. You know, it's funny because when I started traveling, I didn't expect to find people that were more
Noxious than you?
so okay. Sure, more yeah, no, you're right. I'm not even gonna.
You don't even get. You talked my ear off for hours.
And you punch people.
The people I punch, it is justifiable.
Like 80%.
Like 80% of the time. The other 20 is maybe me losing my temper just a little bit.
Maybe?
Okay, it's me losing my temper a little bit.
We'll just have to see, honestly. I mean, I think much as Margot's idea is not the great, and I'm not fond of it. It may work, or Seamus doing his little disguise. Either way, we're not going to know until we find out, until we get there. And half the time when we do our plans, they don't work.
Yeah, but I think, you know, despite all of the plans that we plan that don't work, we end up at least a couple steps ahead of where we were before.
That's fair.
Maybe not gracefully or how we plan, but bruised and battered and burned.
And falling in holes or taking a nap. Cool. But we're
I felt
all
very
still here.
targeted.
He targeted both himself and Margot. I think Dro's just gonna turn kind of sideways where he's sitting across. We can see both sides. Just looking back and forth from the city to the group. I don't honestly know what we're about to get into, but I do know for one sure is my priority is making sure we all make it there.
Soldiers are gonna get there just fine.
Together we'll get there. And he's gonna glance over at Margot.
You know, that means you too.
It means all of us.
That's why I said together. A little confused.
Like you're all in agreement, but you're all trying to argue that you're
Yeah, I
right.
know you though.
Okay.
You wouldn't admit it. But I've seen you do pretty selfless things.
Just awkward silence.
And as the alcohol, as cheap and nasty as the quality of the beer is, does have some version of a kick. It's like not a happy drunk or buzzed feeling. It's like feels a little gross, like a little possibly toxic.
Yeah, possibly.
Highly.
Like I might have to
But-
go to a health clinic afterwards to make sure I haven't like given myself some radiation.
The booze starts to sit in. You set up a watch, which we'll go through next time, and the fatigue of fighting a tree titan settles in, and those of you not on watch fall asleep or trance out or kind of drift off. Those of you that are not falling asleep for first watch struggle to not sleep. With the booze and the fighting and the pain, it is a lot to resist. So we'll get into all of that
Oh
next time, and
boy.
we'll